Okay, in this video, let's see Celery in action. We will not directly implement Celery on our import data feature. Instead, we will try to implement one simple functionality and make sure the Celery is working fine or not. First, we want to trigger an URL endpoint, and then we want to call a Celery task. Okay, so because we want to trigger an URL endpoint, we need a URL path, right? So that is the reason I'm going to create one path. Okay, one path inside here awd underscore main. I will say Celery hyphen test. Okay, / and views dot Celery test. Okay, views dot Celery test, and I don't need a name attribute because this is just a test function. Okay, so once this is done, and I will go to views.py and I'll create a function. Okay, Celery test, it will take a request and it will return HTTP response. First of all, I need to import from Django.http import HTTP response. Okay, so it will return HTTP response, and inside h3 tag I'm going to return one simple message: function executed successfully. Okay, so this is just a Django view. Okay, so when you hit this Celery task, this function is going to run. Okay, so let's try to run that Celery hyphen test. Okay, so hit enter. Okay, so the moment you hit enter, this function got executed instantly. Okay, that is because we had no task that was executing here inside this function. Okay, so it was just a HTTP response. It did not take much time. Now let's see what if we have any time consuming task which is being executing inside this Celery test function. Okay, so let's try to simulate one time consuming task. Okay, so I'll here say I want to execute a time consuming task here. Okay, so maybe this time consuming task can be anything. Okay, so as we have discussed in the earlier videos. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm not going to send any bulk emails from this Celery task function, nor I'm going to import or export any huge data from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to say time.sleep. Okay, time.sleep will take 10 seconds. Okay, I'm just going to sleep for 10 seconds here. Okay, so first thing I want to import time. Okay, so you import time. So what this is doing is this is actually the simulation of any task that's going to take 10 seconds. Okay, so you can pass any number here. This is the seconds. If you want 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and whatever it is, you just write it here. Okay, so this is just a simulation because I don't want to do any real task. I just want to execute this 10-second task here. Okay, so that is why I'm using this time.sleep. Okay, now let's see what happens if I trigger this URL. Okay, if I trigger this URL. Okay, so now I'm going to hit enter. So now you notice it is going to load for 10 seconds. Okay, let me hit enter. You see it is loading. So that is because my task is being executed, right? Even though I have used time.sleep, but just consider that as a task. And after 10 seconds, it just executed, right? So I don't want that 10 seconds to be, loading, right? So that is the reason I need this task. Okay, let's call this as a task. So this is the test task. I want to give it to the Celery so that Celery will take this task and execute it in the background. Okay, so now you got the scenario what I want to do, right? Now what I'll do is I'll give this task. Okay, I'll give this task to Celery. Okay, how to give the task to Celery? That is very simple. We have done all the configuration to run the Celery. Now I actually want to create one file here. Okay, I'm going to create one file. I'll create one file here. Okay, not on this project directory. I'll create here. Okay? Because in the next video I'm going to create task.py here. So that's why in the data entry app, create a new file called tasks.py. Okay, task.py. So here I need to import app. Okay, so which app I want to import? So you see, if you go to the celery.py, we have initialized, or we have created this Celery application. Okay, we have created this Celery application, right? This app we want to import inside this task.py. Okay, so let's say from awd underscore main dot celery import. So dot celery is nothing but this celery.py. Okay, import app. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to create a function. Okay, I'm going to create a function. I'll say celery test task. Okay, celery test task. And this function, if you define this function like this, then this is just a normal Python function. If you want this function to be a Celery task, what you need to do, you need to apply the decorator. Okay, app.task. Okay, app.task. All right, now this function is not a normal Python function, it's a Celery task. Okay, so now the task that we wanted to execute is this time.sleep, right? So I will simply copy this. I'll cut this actually. Okay, I'll cut this and I'll put it here. Okay, time.sleep. And I don't want time here in the view. I will cut that and I will import that time inside the task.py. Okay, so now once this is done, after 10 seconds, we are going to return something from here. Return task executed successfully. Task executed successfully. Okay, so this is our task now. So this task is actually going to take 10 seconds to execute. Okay, now it will be executed in the background. All right, so now here what we want to do, inside the views, we just want to trigger the task, right? This task we want to trigger. How to trigger? So let me first import this task. Okay, how to import from our view is inside our awd main, right? So that's why I'll go to data entry dot tasks. Okay, import this task name, Celery test task. Celery test task. Okay, so now this Celery test task is available here. I'll copy this Celery task and then I will just say Celery test task dot delay. Okay, delay. Okay, delay is a method in which we can execute, or we can call the Celery task. Yeah, so this is enough. Okay, so what this will do is, so once we get the request inside the Celery test view, it will call the Celery test task which is inside this task.py. Okay, so this task will be executed asynchronously or in the background, and while this is executing, we will immediately get the response of this view. Okay, so this function or this task will be executed in the background. Okay, now let's try to run it, but you know what, we cannot just run it like this. Okay, in your case your Redis and Celery is working, that is well and good. If it is not working, you have to start Celery and Redis while your Django is running. Okay, you need 3 terminals. All right, so first terminal is this Django is already running, and I'll create one more terminal. I'll call it as okay, I'll rename it to Redis. Okay, so the first one is actually Django. Okay, Django. Okay, Django is this one, and this is Redis, and then I want Celery. Okay, so from here I'm going to run Celery workers. Okay, Django, Redis, and Celery. So first of all, start Redis hyphen server. Okay, Redis server, and Redis has started, and then we want to start Celery worker. So how to start the Celery worker? It is just say Celery hyphen awd underscore main space worker space hyphen log level is equal to info. Log level is equal to info. Okay, so just hit enter. Okay, now you can see Celery is ready, and your Redis is ready, and your Django is also running. Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to open this Celery. Okay, keep this Celery terminal open, and then you execute this task. Okay, just hit enter, and you will notice that this task or this function will be executed immediately. I'll copy this and new window. Okay, paste it, and I'll hit enter, and you can see it did not wait for 10 seconds. It just executed instantly. And let's go to here, Celery. You see it has received it. Okay, it has received the work, and it just succeeded. Okay, it succeeded in 10 seconds. Okay, it succeeded in 10 seconds. Why 10 seconds? It is because our task is actually taking 10 seconds, right? So this is just a manual task that we have given to the Celery. So that's why it is 10 seconds. If you change this to 5 seconds, or if you change this to 60 seconds, it is going to run that task for 60 seconds. And once that is done, it has returned task executed successfully. Okay, task executed successfully. It is inside Celery terminal. You notice the Celery terminal, because it is the work of Celery to execute this one. If you see Django, it did not return this one, right? It did not return anything in the terminal. It is because Celery is handling the task. Okay, 10 seconds. If you want to change this to 5 seconds, let's save this. But sometimes Celery does not work if you change any task. For that, you have to stop Celery, Control C, and start Celery again. Okay, so once it is ready, let's let's trigger this again. Okay, so the request responded quickly, and then you can see succeeded in 5 seconds. Okay, because it is 5 seconds. Okay, it is just a simple example. Okay, so this is actually the workflow. Okay, first it has received the work, and after 5 seconds it just executed it. Okay, so that's how it works. And in the next one we will try difficult examples. It was just a simple examples, just to make sure it is working, and just to understand how Celery works in a practical manner. All right, so yeah, that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video.